Oh shit. Okay.
Okay.
My name's Atishay Mitra, and my tag, the tag is Indra. IND. What is going on? Oh shit. Wait, wait. I have the stream on. Fuck.
Nice
Okay, okay,
audio.
okay. My name's Atishay Mitra. I go by the tag of Indra. I'm a beast hit scan player. What can I say? Next. What else should I say?
Yikes. Hi, my name's YJ. I go by my in-game tag is Melody, and I'm the main support for the Rutgers D2 Overwatch team.
Uh, yeah, I guess I started off like back in Halo, I guess. I played in a lot of tournaments. Could never really break into that like, pro level. And then when I came to college, I found out like collegiate's a thing, and Overwatch was like an FPS that just came out. And I had like the FPS experience from Halo, and a lot of skills like transferred over, so I like hit the ground running, I guess. So I made it to like our Overwatch team, and just been playing since.
Hmm. All right. And so I guess like the big question is, what was Overwatch like your first choice when you wanted to compete in esports here, or was it like you would prefer that over any other games? Is there any other games you wish you could have competed with?
I mean, like, I wish Halo was bigger, obviously, but like that kind of
Would
Halo's pretty dead.
would you have
So
played
I heard
Halo
like
over it?
probably if Halo was really big, I probably would have still played Halo. I mean, if it was like a good game with like like if it was a good game with like a lot of money and like properly ran tournaments, I probably would have. But it's not, and like that's what Overwatch has. Like Overwatch has that whole like collegiate scene. It's like
Hmm.
properly run. Um,
Is it
but
though?
but
Hit him with those quotes.
Yeah. So, but like Overwatch was an FPS that I really wanted to play, and I enjoyed it a lot. Like just playing it when it came out. So, that's what. So it's always like the game I really wanted to compete in. Like over like League of Legends or like other collegiate games.
And I guess I'll open up to you guys, Indra or Melody. How did you guys first start, I guess, wanting to be an esports athlete, competing in esports, I guess starting with Indra. Tell us about that.
Well, I used to play. I used to have a PS4, and I used to play this game called Uncharted 3, and there's like a competitive community for that. So I was like
Really?
one of the good players in that community, and yeah, there's like it was like a really small community, like 3,000, 10,000 players. I don't know.
Oh.
So I was like, that got me into competitive gaming, onto League of Legends, and like that game was like a chore, and like I got to Diamond One, but like it was like so hard to play that game like continuously because it takes like 30 minutes to get into a game. I mean, not get into a game, but like finish a game and then
Yeah,
five
you're
minute
not
queues
that
and
good, kid. You're not a challenger
Hmm.
30-minute
yeah,
That
queues.
yeah,
sounds
no, not
like
challenger. And then like I got really bored of the game because like at some point I just started playing Yasuo, and if you guys know anything about League of Legends, if you play Yasuo, you can't climb. So at that point,
Yeah. Okay.
at that point, I was like, okay, I'm done with this game. Then I saw Overwatch. I really like Tracer, so I was like, I'm just gonna spam Tracer and play this game. And like I started off in gold, and I didn't realize that I would be able to climb like as high as I did in the time span that I did it. Like I went up like 1100 SR the first season I played seriously. So I mean that's about it. Like that's how I got into esports, I guess.
Oh. So, like, was it something that you knew about when you were younger, or did you, like, find out about as you grew up? Like, did you know anything about competitive gaming?
I mean, like Uncharted from PS4 got me into competitive
Well,
gaming.
yeah, but
Was
I mean, like, before that, did you have
oh
any
no,
idea of it?
nah. Before that, I used to play Pokemon, so
Let's go, dude. That's all that matters. What
This
about
kid's
you,
a weirdo,
YJ?
bro.
What about you,
Shut
YJ?
up.
Oh, let's go. Doggy. But YJ, what about you? How did you get into esports?
um I've always sort of played video games in my spare time. And before Overwatch, I used to play League of Legends, but it was just with high school friends. And then eventually, as the seasons in Overwatch just kept developing, I slowly started to switch over to Overwatch, and I started to make it my main game, so to speak. And then when Kwanzi, the current off-tank player for Rutgers Overwatch D1, got into Rutgers, he looked into Overwatch clubs because he was interested in either playing CS:GO competitively or Overwatch, and he decided to go with Overwatch after going to the first club meeting. And since I've heard about his experience playing for the Fall Tespa, I've also wanted to get involved in playing in a team setting in a higher competitive state for the game. So because I really enjoy it and I love playing it, so that's why I got involved with Rockers Esports more and more in the past couple events that you guys have hosted. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I'm glad to hear it, dude. You're a valuable part. All these kids, anyone watching, are probably the better ends of our teams. Indra and Melody are both very top tier players. No tilting, always top tier. But I guess the next question I want to lead into is, where do you guys see your esports trajectory going? Is this something specifically, Aziz, that you're going to stop, that you've left college, or are you going to pursue it further? And then Indra and Melody, are you guys like, do you have any plans on it so far? If you want to like take this more seriously, leave it as a college sport, I'll just leave the floor open to you guys. Aziz, we'll start with you though.
Well, obviously I can't play collegiate anymore. I don't know if I'm gonna like continue playing Overwatch actually like into tier 2, tier 3, tier 2. I'm probably gonna stop with that. As for like continuing being around like the Rutgers D1 team, I probably will. I want to help them out like as much as I can, like an analyst, maybe like help James out, like the other support, or whoever's taking flex support. Try to like watch VODs with him or something. As for like actual competing, I might play Halo again if Halo 6 is good, and it comes out on PC, and there's like good support with it. I'd probably play that. But other than that, I think I'm done for competitive. I think I'm done for actually competing.
Oh, jeez, hanging up the mouse and keyboard, dude.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It has been, dude. You've been playing it for a minute. What about you two, the D2 stars?
You want to go first?
I don't mind. We've been going with Indra before me, so it's okay. for you to
Okay.
go first. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't mean this in a passive aggressive way.
Okay, no, yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. Okay, so before season 10, I was like, I really love this game. It's not a shit game. And then after season 10, I hate this game. So I no longer want to play tier 2, nor do I want to go pro. That's my response.
I mean, you haven't been tier 2 yet.
Do you
You've only
wanna
been playing
elaborate?
tier 3.
Why do you hate it? Why is it
It's not
shit
tier
game?
3, it's like
Forget
tier
it.
4.
Yeah, he's
Okay,
tier.
listen. Past 3 characters haven't required aim, and they're just banging their heads on the wall while I'm calculating in my brain where to blink and where to blink backwards and 180 blinking and shooting people in the brain.
Tracer's down calculator in the brain. I don't do anything.
Yeah, dude, you're talking like Tracer takes a big brain to play.
Y'all have to think.
I hope
Really
Ducky's
good
in the
combo, dude.
chat and he can hear us saying this too.
Okay, but now it takes an even bigger brain. Like you have to have like 900 IQ to understand her play style. And oh wait, no, that's a meme and shit. Okay, but like she's really.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. You gotta play another hero now. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, like,
you just can't play
now-
Tracer.
Now you just play Hanzo. Like so I ran into this diamond player in my game last season. He was 3K, and now he's 3,800. And what do I see on his career profile? I see Brigitte, the stupid ass May, swinging that shit around, mouse one only, easy clap. and it just blows my mind. Okay, Blizzard trash development. Oh wait, am I not allowed to say that?
Whoa!
Cut the VOD. We're actually ending the stream.
Cut the VOD.
We'll actually just
Okay.
cut the VOD there, dude. Just cut the VOD.
Mora blew my brains as well. And then, but Brigitte is like next level. You don't even have to like look in their direction. You could be sailing that shit across your screen, easy clap. So that's why I don't like this game anymore.
Dude, you
Tracer
definitely
means
have a
it's
career
suicide
being.
watch, bro.
You could definitely be an analyst if you needed to be. Like on the.
No,
on the
I don't think you
owl
can. I don't think you can, dude. I don't know what you can do.
Bro.
You can play Tracer, I guess.
desk. Dude, I'd love to hear that kind of description after like a Seoul versus London game. Like, yeah, like SBB just walked in front of them and is just flailing and shit. Like, it's Brigitte's stupid, fuck this game. And then he just
Dude,
drops
before,
There's no
before
counterplay.
season 10, I was like, I want to go pro. I want to quit everything. I want to drop my shit and just go pro with Tracer only. And
Yeah,
now
3800.
my dreams are gone. They're ruined. What do I have to do? I have to do some computer science job now. Like what? It's all over.
You have to start playing Doomfist, dude, so you can hit them
Oh,
into
yeah.
walls. Easy.
Yeah,
fun.
the fisting. Yeah, wonderful.
Wonderful. And on that segue, Melody,
Hello.
talk to us about you. Talk to us about what you think your future in esports can be like.
I feel as though I've spent the majority of my time into this game, just researching, looking at other people's analysts, videos, educational streams, and the such. I feel as though I have a lot of room to grow, but I have something to offer in terms of esports, at least for Overwatch, as maybe an analyst or a coach for hopefully a future. I want to keep growing in this industry that is still very young. I feel as though there's a lot of potential here, and I want to keep growing with it because it's what I love doing. So I want to continue to stay.
That's so wholesome. That's what I love to hear. I'm in the same boat as you though too. It's like, it's kind of like a hard question to answer too, because I mean, there's probably so many other things that are going to open up for esports in the next like 2 years, and everything we said right now could just be,
Yeah,
irrelevant.
it could, yeah. We'll probably be eating our words later.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
so to
Like
speak.
Indra especially, dude. Tracer's gonna get like a fat buff. She's gonna get like 5
Yeah.
blinks.
Hell yeah.
A 5 blink Tracer with like a 0.5 second blink cooldown, dude. Let's see if
Jesus.
Brigitte smack that,
I just gotta take her out, man.
If
They
it was
gotta
up to
rework
me,
her.
I'd just delete Brigitte along with the Blizzard development team. I mean, the balance team.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that brings up a interesting point. You guys, since each of you have hit GM respectively, you guys are top players
have.
in the what do you call it? The grand scheme of the game. You guys are all top players. So I guess what's your opinions on the state of Overwatch right now? Not the.
Shit.
You can talk about, I guess, the difference between the Owl patch if you want and the current patch, with the difference being the Hanzo changes. So I guess like, what do you think about the game right now? How do you feel about
Well, they
it?
probably got like, you know what League of Legends did with Scion? They just kind of like changed them a lot, and they still called him Scion. I'm fine with the name Brigetti.
It's
You
a
can keep
rework.
Brigetti. Like, yeah, no, it's not just a rework, all right?
It's a
Every
rework.
ability is different. You play it different. What you got to do is you can do that with Brigetti. I like the lore, dude. The lore is cool. But like, just
I've
change
never read their
everything.
lore.
Yeah, me neither. But I'm sure it's cool. But like, just change everything with Brigetti. Like what she is, just change that. And I think they just need to like, next patch, just add 7 heroes. Like, don't say a word. Just like add 7. Like, we'll figure it out. But, like, just stop Owl for like 2 weeks.
No, dude,
And then,
it's
like-
stage 4. Owl's gonna end soon anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It's like after grand finals, just throw in 7 heroes just in one patch, and then we'll figure it out. But like, have them be like cool heroes, like actual like FPS heroes, not just more like Brigetti, Moira. I don't know.
Dude,
Dude,
you
just
know
put
what
like.
Blizzard is trying to do? They're trying to like give 10-year-olds access to top 500 with these characters. Like you see what I'm saying here?
Yeah,
like
they're taking
Mouse-
away my boy
Yeah, the
Pugs.
game is being
Shout out to my boy
dumbed
Pugs.
down.
Shout out to my boy
Yeah.
Pugs. He's a 14-year-old that hit what, like
Yeah, he's a
top
fragger.
50?
Is he a Brigitte, man?
Nah, he's a
No,
Zarya
Pugs
main.
is a god.
No,
respect,
you
respect.
made it.
He's,
Yeah.
Respect.
he's like an
Very
off-tank
good.
Yeah, he
player in
farmed
general, but
he
his
farmed like
Zarya
a
is
solid
nuts.
like 75 SR for me in one day.
Before the meta change, he was already a top player, like a player that's on the rise. Yeah, I would say.
What do you call it? He rang for us one time, and I tried to get him to come back, and I was like, hey man, can you substitute for us 10 to 12 this
Oh,
night?
yeah,
He's like,
yeah, like
sorry,
math
I
homework
gotta
to
go
do.
to bed. I can only play until 10 o'clock on weekdays. I'm like, oh
That's the
crap.
whole
I'm like,
song.
bro, I'll do your
Oh,
math homework for you.
Yeah, Aziz was like, yo,
I
I'll do
got
this
you,
kid's
dog.
geometry homework if he rings for us, man. Come on.
Dude, it's kind of sad for like the top 500 like 14-year-olds because like the game will be dead in 4 years. I mean, the game will be dead in like a year, let alone 4 years. But
You think
You
it'll
know,
be dead in
they'll-
a year?
I don't think it'll be dead in a year.
okay, if they don't
It's gonna be
fix
hard to
their
kill this
path,
game in a
if they
year.
don't fix their path, then I think the game will be dead. Actually, it'll be dead for me. Well, as a DPS player, but
Alright, well, congrats is that for you.
The world revolves
So,
around him.
Like
I
we're
mean-
already on the decline in Korea. You know, nobody's playing that game in Korea anymore. So, you know,
Well, I mean,
Blizzard
the
You
Big
also have to
thing.
take
This-
into consideration that some of the top players in Korea have now been imported to
Yeah,
NA
there's a
for the
lot of
Overwatch League. So A lot of the
it's not,
competition has, so to speak, been removed. So
that is
some of
true.
the scene died as well.
Where's
As
all the
well as
leftover Apex players? Come
well,
on,
I
kid.
mean, they're still there, and I assume are trying. For yeah, but if you didn't know, the company called Lunatic High, they sort of disbanded as well, and I feel as though a lot of the Koreans were very much attached to the company because they firmly believed in the coaching staff for them, and they just really loved the players that were there. And now that they're in NA for Overwatch League, I feel as though a lot of the Overwatch, like competitive Overwatch scene in Korea has sort of died. But I also haven't been keeping up with it very much, so I could be wrong.
It's not only the competitive Overwatch scene in Korea, so it's just like the general population of players is declining. So, the game is well on its way to dying in Korea, at least.
Oh, I mean, there are other problems in other servers for why. Like, a lot of people don't really want to play the game, including like hackers and stuff.
Well,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it's also boosting is
There's
also
also
Yeah,
map
prevalent in
it's a whole
popularity
Korea.
another
boosting.
like
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah, map people are being boosted. I mean, that's just like, I mean, the state of the game. Okay, if the game doesn't like, if nothing change, if they keep like continuing on with adding heroes like every 3 months, and those heroes are just like deteriorating the quality of games, like you're playing McCree, yeah, like McCree, Widow, Soldier, like if heroes like that aren't released and heroes and play like that isn't promoted, then the game will probably like decline and it's not fun to play, and the viewership will probably decline. I'm like Widow is probably always gonna be played, but like McCree, like watching somebody pop off McCree, watching somebody pop off on Genji, those kind of plays need to be promoted. Without that, then like the game is not gonna survive.
I
There's
feel
less
as
success that
though
killed another game.
Blizzard took the wrong end with how to bring the end to dive because, as you know, dive was sort of the prevalent meta for about 6 seasons or so, right? And
Bro, I
I
think it
feel as
was like
though they
after
just
the
wanted to bring
Beyblade
something
meta
different.
dive came in.
Yeah. So I feel as though Blizzard just wanted to bring an end to that for why they took it to such extreme ends by sort of enabling Orisa Hog to be a thing. Bridget is also a hero that shuts down dive really, really hard. She enables, triple support.
Well, I've been
And
seeing Brigitte being played with dive and the owl too. It's kind of funky.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's because at the highest of levels, dive is still very, very strong and very viable. So you're able to mix her with dive or just run dive straight as is if you're good enough to be able to pull it off because it's still plays out it's very viable.
Yeah, I agree.
But
The issue is just dealing. You have to account for the extra armor and the extra time to kill now that
yeah,
dive has.
because it's just because the game is so young. Like if you compare it to League of Legends, they have so many more champions, right? And it makes it so that depending on every game, depending on what heroes that you pick, the game can be played out differently. There are different win conditions and the such. And I feel as though Overwatch is just trying to take that sort of mentality with Overwatch. They want to add more like more options for people. You don't have to just play standard or just dive. You can now run anti dive, and it's pretty strong with Bridget.
Well, I
So
think that's one of the
um,
luxuries League had too, like League's pro scene didn't really take off until they had already established a good like 70, 80 different heroes in the game. And even then,
mhm.
like it started to really take off once they hit triple digits.
Yeah, and the
So
heroes in
Overwatch doesn't
League
have
don't.
that variety.
And the heroes in League don't feel that what's it called, special, so to speak, as
Yeah.
compared to Overwatch. Like each hero in Overwatch, they feel so fleshed out. They feel as though they all have such different impacts for team comps. That's something that League doesn't have. It's an appeal of Overwatch that I really enjoy. But I just hope that over time, people would stop freaking out so much about the new heroes that Blizzard is trying to introduce into Overwatch and just learn to play with them and just learn to adapt better. Because I feel as though it's possible and the game can be fun again, but until people really play with it more, experiment with different, like with the meta, that it probably won't change all that too much.
I
One
also
thing I like
agree.
about League, oh sorry,
No, go for it,
I was
one
gonna
Gary.
thing
say
I
I
like
hate
about League is
mercenaries.
that like the champions, they don't make like that much of an impact on the games, like how it's played, like the meta. Like maybe
Hmm.
the buffs and nerfs will make an impact, but it won't like tell you what you can and cannot play. Like in Overwatch, like now people like will play Tracer if they want to, but they will lose like maybe more of the games than before, and it'll actually have like a significant impact compared to like a new hero in new champion in League. And
You're
maybe
also
being a
taking
counter.
into consideration that it takes a lot of skill to be able to pull off heroes in every scenario if you really wanted to push for it, right? Like Tracer and Mercy, I feel as though those heroes are just heroes that you could always like play into any team comp and still have an effect with them. But just a question of there's probably going to be another hero that you could play with more success results, if you played a different hero than like trying to force Tracer and Mercy into like every comp.
Hmm.
Um,
Like in League, you could play like Vayne every game. Well, I don't know if you know about ADCs
yeah.
and shit. Like you could play
Yeah,
Vayne
because
like
she's,
every
she's a
game.
she just scales so well. She's a hyper carry. Yeah.
Yeah, like you can get countered in lane, but there's ways to like play around it. It's not like Brigitte where you just like get shit on.
Well, I feel as though there's still balance changes that are very much needed to bridge it in order to make it so that you can actually play against her without her being broken, or I guess just really really strong right now. But
I mean, you can play against
Yeah.
Brigitte. It's just people. I feel like it's been a thing with dive being such a prominent meta for so long that so many players in Overwatch have like a very stagnant mentality for how to play the game, and so people aren't
yeah,
like
they don't. Yeah,
they aren't
players
dealing with
stop
Brigitte
real.
like they
Yeah.
should deal with Brigitte. They're dealing with
I
Brigitte
feel
like they think they have with every other hero the last few months or year.
Yeah,
of the
you just
game.
have to jump on her and it's fine. But she excels in prolonged fights because of her low cooldowns, the CC ability. I think not enough players know how to press S instead of W. They just don't know how to respect people's ranges for the enemy team. Or why does that? The game feels so unfun. You need to play a bit more reserved. You need to play a bit more like in a standard kind of a
It's
team comp.
the
People don't like that as
it's
much.
the style of gameplay
Fast.
that having Brigetti in the game is the style of gameplay that people don't want to play. People want to pop off.
Yeah. People,
Mhm.
yeah.
Like, like people know how to play against Brigetti, but like, I don't think they have the patience. Like
That's
Yeah.
true, yeah.
you're playing like you're just playing Tracer. Like he doesn't want to. He wants to like play aggressive. Like he wants to like pop off
Yeah.
on his Zenyatta. He doesn't want to play like
Yeah.
that. I want to pop off on Tracers. Like I don't want to just be holding
did
left
you-
click down shooting shields like the whole
I
time.
think one of the big problems is that the 150 armor from ulting before fights is just like it's very.
Dude, Zenyatta's
It's very
with like
annoying.
It still falls
475
off, though.
HP.
You just have to wait
It's
for
so
it.
scary.
It doesn't fall off though.
What?
The armor, the 150 armor that you get from ulting from before a team
Yeah.
Oh
fight.
yeah, that doesn't.
It'll
that
No,
doesn't
you
I
fall
keep
feel
off.
as
that.
though they should balance change it so that it falls off
They
after.
need to
I
change
think
it
they
so.
should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's too strong. You
I
can't.
don't
And
think
then,
it's
like,
something you should be able to build up pre-fight. I feel like it should be used.
Yeah, you
during
can't
fight.
have rallies.
Yeah.
Like what's bad with like Brigetti is like you can just have rally and then go into the fight with all that armor, and then
But-
during the fight, if you stay alive and you do enough, which you probably will, you'll just have another rally.
Yeah.
So
Because you just hold left click, and next thing you know, your ultimate's like charged. It's a yikes. But I mean, on the other hand, it lets it lets more people try and be creative, I guess, with how they deal with the game. I wish the current patch on live was played in Owl, because then it'd be nicer to see how that.
It would
was
give a
played.
better idea to the casual scene or just regular comp. It will give people options for what it is that you can do.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
exactly.
I definitely feel like it already is though, because we're already seeing teams like New York XL run Monkey like 80% of the time, and they still roll through every other team with the dive tanks of Monkey Diva.
Because like so at the highest level of play, where all the heroes' potential is maximized, dive is probably like that. Like playing Zenyatta, playing Monkey, where monkeys like they don't take poke at all. Zenyatta's are playing safe, and they're doing like a lot of damage. Like you have Jay Jonak. And playing that at like the highest level, like most optimized, it's hard to beat that. But the thing is like the 99.9% of players aren't going to be playing at that level. So when you add something like Brigetti into the game, where the only way to beat it, or like the only way to like play against it is to be completely optimized and like play really good, like as coordinated with a team, it's not gonna work. Like the majority of
especially in a
players.
solo queue environment.
Yeah, like in
I
ladder,
feel-
like Brigetti's so good.
I think
At
it's
the
the
core of the
combination
game,
of
though.
Brigitte and Hanzo's change that makes it really hard to play dive in comp right now.
Yeah,
Hanzo's just really strong.
Hanzo can
And I don't-
one shot a monkey with his E.
Oh yeah.
Feels bad.
Like he one shots Tracer with his E headshot. Like I don't know. It's just way too many opportunities given to him to do too much damage. And
the
I
core
don't
of the
think
game,
the
though-
nerf will do anything. Well, the nerf won't do much. Will the 10 damage fall off from his E? So I mean, it'll go below the threshold where it kills like characters like Tracer in 2 hits, but I don't think that's good enough for 6 arrows. Good enough of a nerf that is.
What were you gonna say, YJ?
At the core of the game, though, it's Overwatch is a team-based. It's classified as a team-based multiplayer FPS game, right? So I feel as though when people first started to play Overwatch, they focused too much on the FPS aspect. You just want to pop off. You don't want to have to rely on other people, in order to win the game because that's not as fun. Not everyone wants to be on the same page as you. They're not always on the same page. And it's hard to coordinate things such as dive for it to be successful. I feel as though better main tanks like Winston's and Divas, like in the higher tiers, they will be able to still pull off that very successfully as long as you communicate it and just coordinate it well, which is what this game should be about. Like anything should be viable as long as you are better than the enemy at whatever it is that they're trying to do. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
I guess. I mean, I feel like what you say is valid, but at the same time, I think that like even
Oh,
if
of
you
course.
like there are
Bridget and
conditions with
Hanzo
the
are
game.
broken right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean there are conditions with the game
It's
where
like the
it's hard
it's
to
like
Like
it's
surpass
like
like
it.
how
the same
Indra
art.
and Aziz talked about how they just want to pop off in the game. It's sort of like harder to when they make the game more of a team-based game that requires a bit more coordination, which is what Bridget brings to the meta because you need a bit of coordination, at least with the shield bash into Ryan Chatter, whatever combo it is that you want to pull off. Makes it so that you have a higher chance of being able to be successful in the game, while playing it. But it's also a bit less fun because it's less about individual skill. It's more about team coordination.
Well, I wouldn't say that. So team coordination is always important, but the thing
Hmm.
what they took out with this with the newer patch is that the individual skill is kind of being narrowed out. Like you're not gonna have those individual moments where somebody can like make you play like a chasing you like 3 kills, or someone can just like individually change the game. Which I guess if you
Hmm.
just want to have like a team-based game where like only people are playing together, like only team coordination, then like that's kind of what we have to do. Like we're always because we're not gonna have this individual. Like everybody has to play together, and that's the only thing we're playing. We're only playing like one unit. Nobody has like an individual, like I don't know, like a pop off. I guess I don't know, like for lack of a better word. But
Yeah,
like
and
team coordination was always important. It's just that it now that they took out individual performance affecting the game, that team coordination is the only thing that's left. But you can still have a very successful game. We're still having like individuals making huge plays.
so I guess a big thing could also be that I personally think that with the new way Overwatch is going is that it's making, I think, the climbing ladder a much more like, I guess, a more vocal thing you have to do. And by doing that, I think it like the ladder's gotten more toxic with the more team reliant the games have gotten to be. Or at least that's how I feel about it. Do you
Yeah,
guys?
because you expect for people to be at a certain level to be able to understand core concepts of the game. What combos should be prioritized and such. And when people aren't able to pull it off, it just sort of seems like how did you even get here?
Just a
There's a
Hanzo
bit
one
of
trick.
that going around.
Yeah,
I
if
think
it's
like
like if the only way they climbed was because of individual skill, and with that individual skill isn't carrying them anymore, they're not going to climb anymore. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of what I did in like season 3, season 4. Like when I got to like 4300 in season 4, I kind of knew nothing about the game, like actual like mechanics. I mean, like actual like intricacies about the game, and like ult
Hmm.
economy stuff like that. I didn't really care for any of that. Like I just played Ana, and I would just hit nutty sleeps. And that was and like back then that's all you needed to do. Like back then, like people were running Ana every map, and if you were a good Ana, you could climb. Because
Yeah.
nobody would die. You would sleep. You would sleep Nanobladed Genjis. You'd sleep Nano Soldiers,
Hmm.
and that's what you need. That's what you needed to do to climb. Like I didn't really care about like
Yeah, you just
stagger or
needed to
anything like
be
that.
better than the enemy team to
Yeah,
no, yeah, just shut them down. Yeah. And now it feels as though less of that is possible because of Bridget's kit and what it can bring to a team in terms of survivability. Makes it annoying to play against and frustrating.
Mhm. You.
I think they also like push the meta towards like one team comp now because like at like top 500 levels are like GM and above or yeah just GM and above like or maybe even mastered but the most like popular comp is like Ryan, Zarya, Hanzo, Brigitte, Zen, Mercy.
yeah.
Like
Mhm.
there's like no variation really like
It's very
and like I
linear.
think yeah I think even Dive has more variation than just that like every game.
Yeah.
Well, I think like with dive, the fight can go many different ways, right? With the meta right now, It's kind of
It's
very
just all
like
around ults.
it's grab Hanzo ult, and then like maybe the Zen has trance, maybe he doesn't like.
Or you
it's
go for a
very-
Bridget range
Yeah.
combo.
But with dive, like so many things could happen. Like, all right, Zen could kill Tracer, Tracer could kill Zen. Like so many different things.
Yeah.
Or maybe Tracer's on the Lucio,
With
or
the
maybe
current
Winston.
meta, supports aren't really ever threatened.
Yeah, with Zen you're just left clicking,
Yeah. And then
and then building your charge, building ult economy for like Zenyatta just feels like RNG. Like I just feel like I'm getting lucky. Like okay, this Ryan like let down his shield like right when I was getting like a big meaty right click in.
And then on top of that, you're also a Zenyatta with, however much shield from Brigetti.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not threatened at all.
150, and then your shield, because you have the shield, your shield goes down before any armor. So if you get poked, you still don't lose the armor.
Yeah.
So the survivability of like the really high risk support line has gone up so much with this current meta that like I guess playing like we've talked about earlier, playing dive if you're not coordinated, you'll just end up, inting as whoever you're playing as.
Yeah, if it's uncoordinated, and like it's impossible to actually have like a coordinated dive in ladder. Like even in like top 500, like there's so many games where you're just like 4200 average, and it's hard to just like people have different play styles. Like people want to play the game differently. It's hard to have like a good main tank and off tank and flex support. Just like all on the exact same page.
Yeah, for how it is that they want to play out a team fight as
Yeah.
such.
Like for the team coordination that's required from this game now, like those individual heroes, like that skill, that like the individual skill you can have from like those three heroes, that aren't gonna make up the like how much team coordination like it's easy to do with like Ren's.
Think Ep.4 if there's a lack of team coordination like on
Yeah.
the team. Yeah, it doesn't anymore.
Mhm.
It's much harder.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think it's also hard just because we're still in the period of adjusting to it possibly. Like once I want to see what it's gonna look like in like a month's time or 2 months time, end of the summer. See how the game's gonna look. Because I mean, if they could add a hero that totally just shifts the meta away from Brigitte, or like somehow shifts the meta back to dive if possible, and we could be having a totally different discussion. Like buff Brigitte, like come on, do something. But I guess on that note, I want to end this because unfortunately we have some holiday boys.
Oh yeah, I gotta eat soon.
We have some holiday shenanigans happening soon.
Yeah.
So I guess we're gonna have everyone say their closing remarks for us. Aziz, I guess closing remarks. Anything you want to tell people? Any shout outs? Anything to follow? What's coming next?
Yeah, yo, follow my Twitter. At iLlama. I'm probably the only one like at Rutgers that actually has like a personality, or that like, actually has like a cool Twitter. I don't know. I don't think you guys do anything. I started also follow Rutgers Ego. I don't know if I'm gonna tweet out that. I might.
Hello?
You should just tweet out from that, dude, since you're not playing with us anymore.
Yeah.
Like your only job is run that.
A shout out. I don't know. Like shout out to my mom, I guess.
Dude, shout out to your llamas, dude.
Yeah, shout out to my llama. Shout out to my future wife. Probably playing Fortnite right now. probably like renting your e-boy. Be like, I gotta get a new one.
Yeah, dropping tilted towers as we speak, dude.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
All right, Indra, any closing remarks you want to say?
Yeah. I mean, the game is shit. That's about. Oh wait, no. Shout out to
That's toxic.
Shout out to the shitty Blizzard development team who really made me hate my life and this game during the summer.
Holy
Yeah,
crap!
You're popping off.
You're popping off. Tell us how you really feel. God, let me get the popcorn.
Okay, that's about it. Well, I had a fun time talking with
Is
you
there
individuals.
anything we can follow you on?
Of course not.
Wow.
Of course not.
Jeez. Follow me, I guess,
Yeah,
if you don't want to follow him.
if you want to follow
Yeah,
Indra,
dude.
just follow Aziz. Like, come on.
No, dude, don't follow Z. He's a shitter.
Oh my God, that's toxic.
He's like 3,600.
What's wrong with my team?
Bruh. I'm a tracer, babe.
He's like 3,600 You're talking to me right now.
Dude, just
You know
go
this
and
guy,
save
Defran dropped 300 SR, okay? Like, if Defran drops 300 SR, how am I supposed to climb? Okay, like, come on, dude.
Defran like plays Torbjorn sometimes, dude.
No, he plays
He beat me
Tracer
with
only
like.
now.
Oh my god, dude. I lost to that Torbjorn.
You lost to...
Yeah, I lost to that Torbjorn, and then I played a game again, and I was on his team, and I lost again.
Oh.
That's like that's
Okay,
top
Aziz.
500 GM like solo
You're
queue for
losing
you.
games as a 500 HP
That's called
Zip
getting griefed.
GT would know a thing or two about griefing the Fran, dude.
Honestly, I'm about to play. I'm about to like
Yeah,
go
yeah.
to
Shout out to
flex
Violet.
support. Wait, Aziz, I'm switching to flex support now. Teach
Okay,
me.
go ahead.
Play
Alright,
Ana only. Easy
last
clap.
before we head out, YJ.
Um, I still want to try and keep a positive mentality on this game because I still believe in the higher tier competitive level of it. I have a lot of hope for what the game could be, and I'm still all up for the more educational or informational, like analytical perspective of Overwatch. I enjoy doing VOD reviews, especially for the heroes that I actually play. So if you have any and you've been wanting some basic VOD review from someone that's been able to self VOD review themselves from like plat to consistently keep masters, then yeah, me. My handle on Twitter is the same as my Twitch handle. You can follow that for art that I will post. I'm also gonna work on some commissions today, like commission
Ooh,
examples.
fancy, fancy.
And there's also stream updates there. So yeah.
Sweet. All right. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for tuning in to another week of Behind the Screens. Catch us next Sunday with your boy Jonah, best student, back in live in action. And we'll see you then.
What are you doing with